Hi guys, welcome to the Bunks YouTube channel. Let's go. Today I have some wonderful guests, which they're gonna share with us an interesting journey on how they became CAs and how unique and all the challenges and the key takeaways in their journey. I'm just gonna let them introduce themselves and then we can start with the gentleman.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Thanks for having us, Temba. My name is Ndima Ngwenya. I'm a chartered accountant and Temba's friend. It's been a while. Yeah, that's me. Do I have to say anything else?
No, I think that's fine. We can unpack as we go with the conversation. And
hi everyone, my name is Robin. I am Ndima's wife, so no Temba through Ndima. Also a chartered accountant, and thanks for having us, Temba.
okay, perfect. I'm so excited to finally.
I did say.
Okay, the husband wants you to know that the wife is also a CA, right? Note that. I'm so excited to finally have this interview. It has been postponed some couple of times and I was very worried because in the next few weeks I was not going to be able to shoot with them. Yeah. And thank you guys for accepting the invite to join us in this channel. And I hope to have a wonderful conversation. Looking forward to it.
So,
maybe as a start, why did you choose to become a CA? Or differently put, where even did you first heard that there's something called chartered accountant?
Yeah, to be honest, Mina was an accidental CA. It happened by accident to become a CA because I didn't even know they existed. Because I did accounting, because I think I had because it was easy in high school.
Yeah.
I just got to Varsity. At the time, I didn't even know what I applied for. I think my mother filled up the thing. And she just needed my details, the application form. And when you got there, I think I applied for management or something. And they were like, yeah, I actually did good in accounting.
You can actually switch
to accounting. Or do you want to stay with this one? And they were just advising with jobs and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? If it's something that I can do and I know I can do it, my results were there. They could show that I could do accounting. I was like, yeah, let's go on. You know, I honestly did not. I even thought you have to do a degree and then you're CA.
You didn't know the change.
Didn't even know. That's the thing. I thought I'm just degree 3 years, 4 years done.
And then you're a chartered accountant.
Only to find out that the journey is even 7 to a lifetime. And
were you not enticed also about the money? Because I know that's the story they normally use as well.
I heard about the money, but it's a thing you don't even know how much. So you just see CAs that are 10 years in the industry and you think
I'm gonna be there when I first
qualify, but it's not the case. Yeah. So yes, I was enticed by the money coming from a background as a car. I don't want to say poor background because it sounds wrong. So I was enticed by the nice life, and stuff like that. But lecturers, when you see them, the first years or so, when you see lecturers, you don't think, that they are humble people, they dress humble, their cars are normal cars you see on the street. So it's not something that you'd accustom of the CA because of the money situation. But that's my view and stuff like that for the money situation. Yeah.
Interesting story, and I think that shows as well the limited exposure that we have in our townships about the variety of options that one can have post high school and stuff. But I think I went similar the same way. And what about you, Fulu? Why did you choose to become a CA? And where did first you hear about chartered accountant?
Okay, so my story is, to be honest, if I wasn't a CA, I'll probably be an actress. But I think I first heard of the profession when I was in grade 10, my accounting teacher.
Yeah.
He told me that you're really good in accounting. I think that helped. It was one of my strongest subjects, and he was like, there's a chartered accountancy degree. So that's all I knew about it. All I knew is there was a CA degree and they still needed a lot of people of color, black people rather. Yeah. And the job security was guaranteed. And I think that was what I guess made me choose the CA program, because I knew that I wanted stability. I didn't want to struggle. in the job market, and I just decided to then apply for it. In Varsity, but the long and short of it, that's how I.
And coming from Limpopo, right?
Mhm.
How did you? I hope I pronounce it correctly.
Yeah,
Is it
Limpopo.
Limpopo.
Yes.
How did you find yourself in Bloemfontein?
Sure. Yeah, I applied in like most of the universities. I really wanted to go to UJ, but I think they were taking me for BCom accounting, but I specifically wanted BAc. At the time, as you said, there's very limited information when you're still in high school. So I didn't even know that through BCom, you can actually still get to the CA degree. And I was like, no, I want BAc because I want to be a CA. So then University of the Free State was the one where I had applied, and I think I had a guaranteed bursary in there as well. So it was just an easier option to go with because of that.
Oh.
That's how I found myself.
It's far from home, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still planning pursuing acting in the near future.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's never late
to change careers.
Yeah.
Especially you have the stability.
Especially when you
as a
build the
base and-
stability. But yeah, definitely looking into it. So watch out for your screen.
Watch out, guys, for our next celebrity. I guess the next question, Varsity. How did you find Varsity, the environment? I know it can be daunting, and I can speak for myself. I'm from Pinar, a small town.
Yeah.
I've never seen some of these big buildings that I'm seeing. I've never seen, I don't know whether to say this on screen, the ladies, the temptations of Varsity, not just ladies, the vibe, you can be easily lost in your dream by all those factors that you find at Varsity.
That's true.
And for you guys, how did you find it?
We can start.
Okay. Varsity. So I was raised by my grandmother, number one. She was a very strict lady. But looking back, I genuinely see where she was coming from. But that being said, it meant like I didn't have that much exposure to the outside world. Because like every kid see when the street lights turn on, you better be in the house. So I think that was my very first time being far away from home and just being fully independent. And there was just all this freedom and you just don't know what to do with it. But I think for me, at the core of my being, I'm an introvert. Yeah. So I think that also helped that I wasn't really taken by all these, experiences but it is obviously also, those were my first experiences. Like I experienced going to the club for the first time. I was like, oh, this is it. This is what people do. But otherwise, I think I've just always been like a very work ethic driven, focus on the goal, remember why you're here. So it was play hard but work hard as well. So for me, the transition wasn't as hectic. I wouldn't really say it was overwhelming because I have just always remembered the reason why I was there.
You remind me of my former employer. They used to say play hard and work hard.
Yeah.
And what about you, Chooks?
Yeah, I think I had a similar experience, but I never got the chance to go to a club because at the time I was not a drinker. I was the sober friend during Varsity.
Is it?
Yeah, I was very sober in Varsity.
Even
though I hung around people that drink.
Yeah,
like you.
I know even the freshest thing. I know Jokes is in the Zak.
Yeah, I was all go just because I love music.
Oh,
yeah,
I you've been drinking ever since, eh?
Yeah,
okay, let me allow you to tell the story.
Yeah, so the friends thing didn't take me it didn't take me off track or anything like that because I'm also goal driven, just like her, but I'm the opposite. She's an introvert. I'm an extrovert.
Too much.
This is why. This is why you can't tell. You couldn't tell if I drink or not.
Yeah.
Because I was always around.
Outgoing. Very.
I was outgoing. Like when it's time to go to church, I go to church. But I was everywhere at the same time. But I think one thing that helped me in sports, I used to play a lot of soccer. I know I don't look like that. So I used to play soccer for like a team there in Varsity.
Yeah.
Not the official team, but like you can tell that.
As a strategy, as a race in the team.
But we practice every day.
Yeah.
You know, that was nice, fit. This like I would just go to class. After class, go to the gym, or before classes, go to the gym, class, and then go to practice, Saturdays games. So like in that regiment, there's no time to drink or there's no time to party. Sometimes you have to wake up 8 in the morning to play a Saturday game.
Yeah.
So Friday I was like, let me sleep or study stuff like that. So yeah, Varsity was actually nice because I was in the mess, but I was actually outside because I was observing. Yeah, this is how people act when they're drunk. Well, so
I bet it's audit that brought about the drinking.
It's funny how I actually started just at the tail end of my varsity years.
Yeah.
That's when I started drinking. Or maybe went back because I drank in high school and stopped in varsity. So bad habits die hard.
And I guess for you, Ndima, it's quite interesting that you did metal trace, right?
Yeah, I actually did metal.
I just remembered that. How did you find yourself, or how difficult it was to get into the CA stream? I know your journey was a bit longer, obviously, because of that. Do you mind sharing on that?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. So initially I had to do, there's a program under CA, it's called Financial Accounting. So I had to enroll for that one. I qualified because my other marks besides my maths list were very high, and the maths list was also like very high. I don't want to mention it, but close to 90 there. So they took me for the financial accounting program.
Nancy A route.
But you had to like work towards that to qualify for CA. So you have to get like 75 and up.
Yeah.
I'm not showing off or anything. So I was in that class with people that did maths. I think I was the only one actually that did maths in that class. And I'm proud to say I'm one of the few that came out of that class to go to the CA route and then qualify. But to ask, we had like maths modules when I started. I had to really use my friends that were there, like, I would knock on your, like before that, but I'm one person that asks for help. I'm not going to struggle there, sit there and struggle. No, I did ask for help from people that did maths and passed it with 90s. I would sit there with them, study with them, and like they would teach me how some things are done, go calculus. And I also realized that had I done maths in school, I would have actually this is not actually that hard. I would have done well in maths. So it was interesting because no one knew. Everyone just thought we all did maths. But I knew I'm actually struggling a bit here. So I go economics, accounting. Those were easy for me. But maths, the maths side I was like passing 50%. Just about 50%. So just to qualify. But it was an interesting journey, and I'm proud to say that I made it. Probably one.
I think that's the important
I'm proud to
thing.
say I'm one of the few.
To make it to the end. I'm probably off script. I'm not a good person when it comes to script. I'm thinking of a question now. But we know most people are of the view that the CHN is a very difficult one. And most likely, if you don't have a passion for it, you are likely to tap out. I'm not sure whether any of you has ever experienced failure, and what is your perspective and your view on failure? Like someone who's going through the very same thing, who's doing CTA or undergrad, and the course is not really coming okay. What will you say to such a person?
Okay, I think I can take that one first. I think before CTA I never failed. I never repeated a module or anything. Even when I did maths the first time, I passed it. But you felt
like you went screaming.
It was the first time I was lost. I was going to class every day, studying after class. Mara, if you ask me what were you studying, I did not know. So I was dealing with like a lot at the same time. I like the nice part about it, my personal life was fine. CTA was the problem. So that was the first time I failed, and then you just learn. There's no time to lick your wounds. There's no time to cry about spilled milk there. You fail, you repeat the following year. and you do it like you've never done it before.
Yeah.
You know, just take take the lessons from the last year, and go on with them. You know, there's no time to cry in the following year. You know. So I think it's just putting your head down, you know, consulting with the lecturers, make them your friends, so that they also know what your strong points are, so that they don't waste time with like teaching you things that you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing about it. So I failed the first time. Second time I made sure that I knew what I was doing, because I didn't know what I was doing the year before.
Yeah.
When
You had to learn from your mistakes, obviously.
yeah, because you left me in CTA. You came to Joburg. Yeah.
But look now, we both qualified.
Yeah, you know, that's the beauty.
It doesn't matter how the journey looks like, eventually it's about getting there.
It's the beauty of the story. And then, I passed ITC, that was easy. APC came. Yeah.
Another story.
And the worst part about us was during COVID. So,
Yeah.
The exposure and having to speak to other people. I think the first time I did APC, I had even never met my teammates during that time. I didn't meet them.
You were on Teams and
Teams,
and all that.
Zoom and stuff.
Yeah.
I would use that. So the human connection was not there, and I don't want to blame it, because even when I passed it the second time, I had never met a lot of them. Like we had never had a session in class, or in the same.
But I guess it did contribute, and also it was at the peak of COVID. There was a lot of uncertainties with our jobs, our families, and all that.
So, that was the first time, and second time I failed, but since then.
Okay, and you, Fulu, have you ever failed a module?
No, definitely.
Repeated a year? And
I have.
Yeah, what's your experience?
So similar to Ndima's journey.
My husband.
My husband's journey.
We must
Similar
throw
to
it there
my
and there.
husband's journey, I think even with me, it's like I had never failed before CTA.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the one thing that was challenging was always having been an A student. It's like people hold you in high regard, and you can't fail. And it did take a knock on my confidence, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was difficult, because I was like, okay, maybe you even start thinking, were these people lying to me saying that I'm smart? Because clearly, why am I stuck here? But I think, it did take a knock on my confidence, because I just didn't understand. I've been doing so well since high school. I qualified easily for CTA, but CTA rocked me. And that was like,
question your identity.
no, you really do, because it's not. You have to basically repeat the entire year and repeat all modules. It doesn't matter whether you failed one module and you passed
That's
the
the
three.
downside of it.
You have to go back to class and, as he said, do it like you've never done it before. And I think for me, one of the other challenging thing was when quite a few people did fail, and we were faced with opportunities to say, should I do this part-time while working, or should I go back to class and continue full-time? So that was one of I guess a challenging decision that I had to make. But I was like, you know what, one thing that I've learned is, like, once you've tasted money, it's very difficult to go back. And I think just from the track record of what I had been seeing, it's like people who were doing it part-time were really struggling. It's a fact from what I've seen. Because also, if you couldn't get it done in class, like what makes you think that when you're juggling work and so I think an advice, and I know circumstances are different. Maybe other people do need to provide, you know, and that's completely okay. But if you do have the opportunity to go back to class, like, I'd highly recommend it. Go back to class, do it like you've never done it, like, focus. And by then you know what you know and you know what you don't. Focus on that, and just, I guess, work on your confidence. Because I think what I learned is with CTA, it's not that you don't know. It was more about being confident in your answering and in yourself. And even when the marks come back and you're like, I got a 29%, because that was the reality. You just had to, keep up with the confidence. And as he said, consult if you need to, surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing as you. And that was it with CTA. And then APC as well. Pick of COVID, I don't know. It just didn't work out. I still don't know how I failed APC.
You're in love.
Genuinely don't. I don't think it was that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was just because I'd had the experience, I was just like, oh well, it just means that I have to do it again, and it was easier to pick myself up and just do it again. And I guess second attempt, it went well, and we're here today. So, and I think one thing I think that you asked is, what would I tell someone that's currently struggling right now is, if you have to do it again, because we're sitting here right now and there's no, when you apply for a job, like you're a CA, I'm a CA, he's a CA, you're a CA, they're not gonna ask you, did you repeat your CTA, for example. So at the end of the day, when you're in the industry, like, it's really worth it. And like I said, if you've got the means to carry on with it, I'd say carry on with it until.
I think for me too, I don't think I said, I advised like what to do when you fail. I think the main thing for me was reflection. Like sometimes, like when you fail the first time, you're just like, this guy he didn't teach me this. But the institution, like, you're just angry, like, so just keep your anger away. It's not personal, like you fail. It's not about you as an individual. Maybe that day you were not ready for whatever. So I think for me, like the thing I've learned so much is reflection. Take your script, go sit with a professional or go sit with someone who's like better in the class, and go through the script with them. Because you are never going to be objective to yourself. Especially when it comes to marks, you want yourself to get 60 there. And 60 is a distinction in CTA.
I didn't get it at all.
So like you would always, like, you'll never be objective. So I think just go to like your lecturer or like someone different. Like, go through the memo with them or give them your script. They should go through them. That's gonna help you. Reflection helped me a lot when I did it the second time. Even when I repeated APC. I had to reflect a lot on my script. I spoke to different people. I mean, even people outside of my group, and stuff like that. So reflection is one very important thing.
And also, failure does not really speak of your inability as a person to do something. It can be a lot of circumstances that should have led to that. On the day, there can be a lot of circumstances. You can be caught off guard and all that, but doesn't really mean you can't do it. Okay, guys, now moving to articles. How did you find yourself doing articles in audit? Was it someone higher deciding for you? I know when you're at Tutuka, normally you have limited. You do have the prerogative, but it's limited. You have to go find the banks and all that, but most of the time they choose for you. How did you find yourself doing articles in an audit firm in the Big Four? Let's hear you, Ndima.
Articles were very interesting, but the start of it, I think I found myself at a company that, it's in the Big Four. I don't want to mention the name. The culture of the company was very nice. But before I went there, it was because of Tutuka. They selected a company. But I saw myself a lot in banking. I wanted to do banking. And, I wanted to, if not banking, go to Treasury or the Reserve Bank, something like that, So, I ended up going to audit. Not my choice, but when your family said,
whoever feeds you,
when they said we found you a space here, there's not much you can do about it. But not being a huge fan of audit, I'd say it was a very up and down
relationship.
Lucky for me, I was in a company that had an amazing culture. And if you want to know about the company, you can go to my LinkedIn.
I went for that company, so I agree with you.
It had a very amazing culture. And the thing about articles is that you work with people that are your age. And if someone is in management, they're not so far from you. They're probably like 2 years older than you, but they're in management. So I think working with young people also, like, it helped me. But there were tough experiences. Audits, budgets and stuff like that. I was in a sector where, not banking, budgets are very limited. There's work must be done, So, but it's one of those that even the partners are very proud about that sector. That you learn a lot there, because there's actual audit work.
Which sector? We can name this.
I was in retail.
Oh, retail.
Yeah.
Too much work there.
A lot of stockouts. Yeah.
Imagine you audit McDonald's. You can imagine the number of transactions that are there.
Exactly, like samples,
Yeah.
ticking and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of work, procedures. So, yeah, it was interesting. I met a lot of interesting people. You know, some you be friends for life. Some you don't want to talk to them anymore. Some you don't even want to see them till today. Like it's nature of work.
Yeah.
And the nature of working in an environment that you hop around a lot of clients. You know, I think if I were to say anything bad or anything negative about that is that I never got to like spend a lot of time with like, you know, some people like would spend like 3 months or a month on a client.
Yeah.
I think the most that I spent on a client myself was like a month or a month and a half.
Yeah.
And I never like had a lot of what do they call recurring clients?
Yeah, ngiyayibona. Isn't this balekile bafethu? Ngiyasithola. You're not recurring, no.
Those articles are like 3 years.
Yeah.
So some people would be on a certain bank for 6 months of the year.
And every year.
I am some people.
Yes. Yeah. So for me, my experience was I think I had one client, and I was 2 clients, but I was there for like 2-3 weeks. In a year, then the rest of the time I was just hopping around clients.
Whenever we win a new client, but
I was one of those people that would start audits or just finish off Temba's work because Temba didn't finish.
And we still up sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and I think that thing it messes up with your confidence because sometimes you get the Temba said he did A to B, you get the Temba didn't even do half of it.
Yeah.
And when they expect you to finish, so if you don't speak up for yourself, that in that sector, like you will always be.
And also, how do you manage it in terms of articulating it to the partners, but without being necessarily a bus driver? I'm sure you know bus drivers in audit.
Yeah, there's a lot of bus drivers.
Yeah.
So I think it's just I don't know how to say this, but choosing your ways right.
Yeah.
Because if you can say whatever you want.
You don't want to burn bridges.
Yeah, you want to burn bridges, but sometimes you have to just to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Some people are really not worth keeping in your space.
Yeah.
Because they are quick to. They might do the same to you.
Yeah.
You never know, but like you have to be honest. That's it's one of the principles of being a CA. Honesty, that's straightforwardness. So, that department was very interesting. It kind of made me not enjoy audit. I did not see like what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I hated audit, I don't want to lie. But it was more like now that I look almost 2 years later after articles, it was more about the people, not the work.
Yeah.
And when I talk about, she knows my story, she's my wife. So like when I talk about my bad experiences, I do realize that it's the people, not the...
And it's isolated.
It's isolated, like it's,
it's not embedded in the culture of the company itself. It's people that...
Yeah, but I think the other thing, like, I should have learned early, but guys like you are kids, early 20s.
Yeah.
It's not to blame myself because I thought I was the problem to start with. And then you go to another audit manager, they treat you well, you do the work nicely and stuff like that, you learn from them. And then 3 months later, you go to another one that's going to be different. Maybe they're under pressure, I don't know, or they need to deliver now and they just treat you like, something else. So, just to learn that it's not about you.
Yeah.
And be confident in your work and ask.
Yeah. And for you, Fulu, you were in a big 4, but in a small town.
In a smaller firm, yeah.
And the experience can be different. I've never been in a big 4 in a small town, but I can imagine it can sometimes feel like it's not really big 4 because you're in a small town. But you can correct me because you went through the experience. How has your journey been, or how was your journey?
Yeah, so for me, as you said, I was in a smaller town, and I think with that, for some reason, to be frank, I had the best experience in audit. I'm one of the few that would say, you know what, I loved audit, still do, and I enjoyed it to this day. And I guess I also had the privilege to, work with great people. And one thing I think about audit that I learned is you need to have a teaching spirit to thrive in that department, teaching and learning also. So, sometimes I guess you meet people that are very impatient and they don't really have that teaching in them, because you're working with young people that are just
Yeah.
fresh from Varsity. Like, what do they know? You need to literally have the spirit to teach them and the patience. So I was fortunate enough to meet those people, right? So with me being in a smaller firm, I think a total of everyone in the office, including the receptionist and the security, were like 34.
And the dogs.
I kid you not. Pets and dogs, family. Okay.
And that includes the partners.
Yes, that includes. We only
There
had
was
one
one
partner. One partner, 2 managers, few Anyana trainees, you know. But I think for me, being in a smaller firm, in a big 4 firm, like in a smaller town, meant that so we used to travel a lot, because what they would then do for us is they would outsource us to the bigger offices, for example. So I found myself in a situation where I was traveling a lot. I genuinely enjoyed that. So although I was based in a Bloemfontein office, like I'd travel to Johannesburg because I was in a big client, banking client. And it was cool because like they book everything for, I think that's why I felt like, you're okay, I'm an employee now. You know, they booking flights for you, they booking accommodation for you. I think that was the aha moment, like, okay, I'm an employee now, I'm grown, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Found myself in instances where I was working in Lesotho, like out of the country. That was also like an experience, and I enjoyed it. So I don't regret being in a small town because it gave me that vast exposure, and of course the traveling was a plus.
And I guess in that traveling and in the outsourcing strategy, you got to meet your lovely husband.
Well, that's not how.
That's not how.
Oh, guys, I don't have the story correct. Okay, I'll allow you to say it.
Wrong.
Okay.
No, we actually met at we had like an event where they would organize all the trainees from Africa.
Yeah.
And then we'd all meet like in Durban in the Drakensberg. I think that's where I met him.
Oh.
Yes. I didn't want to say the name because it would give away. It would give away. But even then, it was just, we were just friends. But we started talking from that day, like every day after. And then in like 3 or 4 months, I had to go back to Johannesburg for this client.
1 month.
Oh, it was a month. Okay, we spoke every day after since until like a month when I had to now go back to Joburg, and then he was based in Joburg.
Yeah.
So I guess it became easy to get to know each other then.
Yeah.
But
we were there not to meet, make other friends. But it was just a genuine, we just met genuinely through a friend.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly didn't have any intention to go Jordan. I was just focused on drinking alcohol.
And then there's no sleeping there. The whole week.
The whole week, got there on the Monday. The first day, there was a hall where there was activities, a welcome event. What they taught us there, I won't tell you I remember anything, because every day after that was just hangover.
I think it's same with me.
So,
I was not drinking, but I couldn't. The environment itself is just.
It's late.
Yeah.
Open bar some days, so mid-year I was just there to have fun, and even on like the day where we had like a formal event, she's always asking me, why didn't you make vibes?
Why you lying?
Why you saying that?
Why you lying?
I'm not lying, guys, I'm not. But anyway, man, I was not there for anything like that. We just clicked,
But I guess there's something good out of the experience that came about.
Yeah, there's a lot good. I'm married. A long term,
I guess my question is, how was your experience on the first day? I can try to replay that in my mind. It was quite overwhelming.
True.
On the first day, you get to audit in the workplace and they are sent to go to the client. I know with our former employers, usually after the first week of the training, and then on Monday, we are being sent into the client. How was that experience? And I know for most people, it's the first time you're working on Excel and and all that. We are in a new city. For you, probably it was better. You were still in the same place. But how was that experience?
I think,
you can go.
I think for me, yes, it was overwhelming. To be quite honest, I wasn't even like, I was not a computer savvy person. So I've got this laptop and you have to work on Excel and I'm just like, what is even like I literally had to learn from like what is sum, for example, how to sum up numbers. I had to learn like from zero. But as I said, grateful enough to have worked with people that were willing to teach me, right? So I think for me, it was overwhelming and having to learn everything all at once. And also for me, it's like just after that, first week of training, the second week they're like, you're going to Joburg. I'm like, hi, boo. What do you even mean? I'm literally still, you're going to Joburg with booked flights. This is where you're going to be sleeping. Yeah, it was just like very fast paced. Then you had to like learn. But I think what helped is I always like try to keep an open mind, like in everything that I get myself into. It's like, okay, let me take this as a learning experience. Yes, it's daunting. Yes, it's scary. But what am I learning from this? And I think that, was my experience. Very first, being in articles.
Yeah, my first experience. It was very interesting because I had to go to Kempton Park.
Did you have a car or not?
Yeah, I did have a car.
Oh.
I did have a car, so lucky for me.
I actually missed that story. This guy had a car while he's...
that's the nice thing about the CA program. You can get a car before you even go to your company.
Before you even start working. I remember you doing ITC, the car was already there.
I was doing ITC. I just didn't want to struggle when I got to work. I just wanted things to be seamless. My only problem was accommodation because I stayed with you. So it was like because I didn't have a flatmate, so I'm paying it. But story for another day. First day. I think for me, my experience was different because I knew all like those sums, like Excel and stuff.
Excel savvy and
because I did that in high school. There was a module computer towards in high school, so I did that. And then in varsity also there was a module that we had to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
So at least in varsity I added from what I learned in high school, and that was not my worry. My worry was the actual. So. And then I got to the first client. It was very nice. I was with two people from Soweto. So it was just
the demographics were conducive.
Very favorable because I could get taught how to work in my language. That was an advantage to me because some people get taught in their other languages. I mean, like, not that English is not my strong. But English is one of those languages we speak. But it was a nice experience because I worked with those people for like 3 weeks. They set me up very well. I was looking forward to go to work every day because we were constantly laughing. Like there was just 3 of us. Like the manager would just come and leave. But that's the nice thing about it. We saw Ndima Ngwenya during lunch. Some days on Fridays we even had a day in which we drive out to go have lunch or get lunch at KFC or whatever we felt like on the day. So that experience was beautiful. But then what happened after was they said when life is going like this, you must know. What happened after that? It was during I went to a busy season client. New client also. That client is in Joburg. There when you pass by.
I know it. I was there. You were in group and I was in the. I know it.
That's where it showed me.
It was not a nice one because
it was not a nice one. Let me not get it because it's gonna make my company look bad.
Okay, that's interesting. How was your first interaction with the client? I remember in my first audit engagement, I'm far under the bus, I'm to my client, and it was quite overwhelming for me and not knowing how to structure the conversation and all that. How was that experience for you? Maybe in a sentence.
For me, it was nice, like because my FM that I was working with at the time had worked with so many trainees. And it was a very small client. It was a nice African lady. She was very nice. So I was told what to go say. And I repeated the script on my way there. You know, when mom to me at time, I can't see. To me, at time, 5 rand, 5 rand, at time, 5 rand, more figure out what at time, Albany.
And you mess up one of them already, the whole script.
So, those lessons, like when I was a child, they helped me, like, they taught me how to repeat in the passage that I asked for. Because at that time, I think we were not even like allowed to send emails because like the time was literally like 4, not even a minute away. Like, you know, don't even send her an email. Go tell her what you want. So that was the thing. But yeah, when she's not there, we send email. So I think for me it was nice. Like, she was one of the best clients I've ever worked with for like 3 years. Yeah.
No, that's good. I think if your first interaction you get a client that is not good, it can really mess up with your confidence. And it takes time to sort of like work on it and build it up. But yeah, that's interesting. Follow for you?
I think for me, it was so let me explain. So yes, sure, I worked with a supervisor who told me exactly what I needed to go ask, you know. I guess the nice thing is you always, because you work in a team, you're never alone.
Yeah.
So you always have people that are there to coach you to say, this is what you need, right? So I think my first interaction with the client is I went there, I said, I'm looking for XYZ. And then the client said, why do you need it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I once went to the client not knowing the why. Yeah, I didn't come back.
Exactly. And she asked me, so what is the objective? What are you testing?
Yeah.
What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was a light bulb moment. And I'm glad it happened in my first interaction because from there on, even when I was sent by my supervisors or managers, like I'd also have to ask them, what is the goal? What are we achieving? Why do you need me to ask this? What is the end goal?
Yeah.
So that was it was a daunting experience because I was like, so is this how it's going to be now? But it was also like a learning opportunity for me. Yeah.